It's Vici Gaming versus EHOME.Keen for the Epicenter Moscow China qualifiers. This is game 3. Winner advances to play the winner of Newbee versus LFY. I believe game 2 of that series might still be ongoing. Newbee won game 1, and we're here 1-1 in this series. Vici Gaming, I think, coming in with a lot of momentum after the previous game. EHOME.Keen just picking a lineup that didn't do anything early on. And kind of getting rolled over in a lot of ways. So we'll see if they can do something a little bit different this game. I think a big part of EHOME.Keen's victory in game 1 was the fact that they had the Magnus, and they ran a Magnus, I think it was Magnus, Ember, and Jug as their full tricore, so really leveraging the Empower a lot this time around. And similar to game 2, Vici Gaming are going to be taking the Magnus for themselves, so EHOME.Keen not going to have that opportunity available to them. Once again, we're going to see a lot of position 4 heroes banned out here, and EHOME.Keen getting rid of the Ricky, but still willing to give Vici Gaming the Magnus. I feel like might be a little bit of a misstep. We'll see. Maybe a Monkey King Warlock coming up as somewhat of the response. Monkey King, decent scouting, a little bit of counter initiation, gives them some AoE team fight. I think the same kind of story for the Warlock. Just pretty good at counter initiating against the Magnus. Your team gets RP'd, but then you just drop the Chaotic Offering right on top of the RP stack and prevent any damage from really being done. Of course, your team's positioning is being compromised by the RP, but at least it gives you some kind of an opportunity to disengage. Also, other position 4 heroes being banned: Nyx Assassin, the Slardar, Omni Knight. Not really a position 4, very much played as position 3 in the offlane these days. But EHOME.Keen has to decide what they want. If they want a core, they can take it now. The Legion Commander is still in the pool. I wouldn't put it past Vici to pick the Legion for themselves here. Could be a little bit difficult to run with the Magnus under some circumstances, but we'll see what happens. As EHOME.Keen now going to pick up an Axe. So I think the plan is here that they're trying to preempt the whatever the carry pick is going to be. So Vici Gaming, they've picked the Magnus. They're definitely going to be picking right clickers, and an empowered carry destroys themselves against Axe. Like almost no matter what carry you are, you've got Empower, you've got so much more damage than your hero normally has, but your survivability is not any higher. So all of a sudden Axe blink calls you with a blade mail and you just obliterate yourself. Of course, there are some ways to get around that a little bit. As we saw in the previous game, Vici Gaming were willing to pick a Wraith King early on to help deal with the potential that the Legion Commander was going to be blink dueling their carry, but looks like their answer in this game is just going to be picking the Lifestealer. So they've already got a vehicle. It's not amazing against Axe necessarily, but not too bad either. Can be really difficult for Axe to initiate on, since Lifestealer spends a lot of time just infested in one of his teammates, and can be kind of elusive in that sense. You get a Terrorblade ban because it is a good hero against the Lifestealer, and Vici, having picked the Lifestealer this early, will probably have to do quite a bit of legwork to set him up in terms of making sure that he has an alright lane, making sure that there aren't too many too many strong counters for him in this game, since he is going to be a very important part of their strategy here, especially with the Magnus. Mag can do a little bit of damage by himself, but you're very much just looking to set up for your other cores, and if your other cores are countered, then the Mag all of a sudden doesn't seem so impressive as a hero. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how this works out. In terms of other bans, what's particularly good against Lifestealer? The Terrorblade definitely comes to mind. I think Troll Warlord is actually pretty annoying for Lifestealer to deal with, so that could be something that EHOME.Keen look at this game. Also not too bad with the Monkey King either. The Monkey King these days a little bit less focused on the Jingu mastery than he was when he was first released, and being played more as a core. He was mostly just being played as a core because I think he was a disgustingly broken hero, and nobody really understood how any of his abilities worked, so everybody would just give him four Jingu stacks in lane, and then he would become impossible to deal with. But people much better at playing against him now, though that synergy is still kind of there. So maybe we'll see the Troll Warlord as an option. Vici probably just looking to pick up their secondary their first support actually. Moving in here, we do get the Earth Spirit banned out by EHOME.Keen just to help protect their Monkey King a little bit. Yep, there's a troll. Makes some sense. Vici Gaming. What's their answer to this going to be? Well, I guess we'll just have to see. They've banned the Templar Assassin themselves, so could see something like I'd like to see a bit of magic damage on their mid hero.
5
honestly,
seconds remaining.
I feel like Troll Warlord is actually it's reasonably easy to burst him. He does get fairly tanky when he builds S and Y and whatnot, but you do have some kind of an opportunity there. I don't believe he has a health talent at level 10, unlike some other carries, so it does leave him a little bit squishier overall. What do Vici go for here for their position 4? I think that's the biggest question mark for their lineup at the moment. There's a Bounty Hunter, but that hero is really not all that popular right now. They could pick Tusk. I think Tusk would be alright, but the Frozen Sigil is probably going to be dealt with pretty quickly, and you also need to be really careful with Snowball against heroes like Monkey King and Axe. But could still be something that they consider. Unfortunately for them, the Riki and the Earth Spirit are both already banned, so the good Lifestealer bomb position 4 heroes are kind of gone. Could be a good Sand King game actually. That's one hero that I hadn't immediately thought of. But all right, for now, just going to be picking up a Disruptor. Decent laning support. Not so great if you fall behind. Vici's team would definitely benefit from some kind of vision hero right now, given that they've got the Magnus and the Disruptor looking to set up team fights. Disruptor is not so great as a counter initiator, which is one of the interesting things about him as far as AoE teamfight ultimates go. Most other AoE teamfight ultimates are sort of equally good for initiation and counter initiation, but I feel like Disruptor's ultimate can sometimes be a little bit difficult to use for turning a fight around. So I think that also plays into that there's a bunch of reasons why people talk about Disruptor as good, really good, and like game breaking when you're ahead, but sort of when you're behind. You know, one of them is that if the enemy doesn't care, if the enemy just wants to run at you anyway, then Glimpse is a very unimpressive ability. Meanwhile, if they actually want to run away, then Glimpse feels like the most ridiculous catch that ever existed. And I think it's it's sort of the same thing for his ultimate. If you're the team that's ahead, you're making the plays, you're being dynamic, you're setting things up with your team. Static Storm, Kinetic Field feel amazing. But if you're behind and somebody's getting blown up before your spells even do anything impactful, or the enemy team gets fast BKBs or that kind of thing, then all of a sudden Disruptor just feels really, really useless. So Vici Gaming gonna have to try and get some stuff done in the early game, but I think the Lifestealer is the right kind of hero to do just that. He's active, he's aggressive, he's going to be looking to make plays. As EHOME.Keen will pick up a Dazzle. Certainly good against the Lifestealer. The bonus armor is going to be good. It's a really good laning partner with the Axe as well, so we could even see Monkey King, Axe, and Dazzle kind of aggressive tri-laning this game, looking to punish the Disruptor and the Lifestealer a little bit, which is where Vici might have to pick a fairly strong laning position 4 just to help repel that, because I think the Troll Warlord would actually do decently against the Magnus in the 1v1. You know, not ideal, but Troll is a pretty strong 1v1 laner when it comes down to it. You're going to give Mag more farm than he would get otherwise, but
5 seconds remaining.
I think that might still be worth it if you're shutting down the Lifestealer at the same time. As Vici Gaming, all right. They're going to pick the Storm Spirit themselves this time around. It was EHOME.Keen who picked it in the previous game. This hero is really, really good against Dazzle, and EHOME.Keen's lockdown... They have enough to deal with the Storm Spirit for sure, between the Boundless Strike and the Call from Axe. But if Storm Spirit just plays around that a little bit, or he sees one of those two abilities whiffed, then he's going to be able to get a lot done. Does also give them that little bit of magical damage that I really wanted to see in their lineup. And Troll survivability goes down a lot if you can actually chainstun him. So the Electric Vortex is actually great for that, in terms of you jump in, you Vortex, you hit him a bit, and if he doesn't get his Whirling Axes off and he's not hitting you for lifesteal, then he can actually look somewhat squishy, though he will have a very high armor this game. Like
10
EHOME.Keen's
seconds
lineup
remaining.
with the weave running is going to be maybe in like the
5
the
seconds
50
remaining.
armor range for Troll Warlord, 50 plus maybe, which is just a ridiculous
Resolve
amount of
time.
physical damage reduction. Anyway, Train Protector. Okay, that's one of the
10
position 4 heroes
seconds
that I actually
remaining.
forgot about, but EHOME.Keen are going to be getting rid of it here.
Dire
Would just
team
be some
pick.
more AoE team fight and maybe some more setup for the Disruptor. It's not the easiest Disruptor game right now, but alright. Vici Gaming, do they want the Sand King? It's greedy. I think it's very greedy to run
10
Disruptor and
seconds remaining.
Disruptor and Sand King as your
Radiant team pick.
two supports, but instead they're gonna go for the Night Stalker. All right, we got almost all blue boys on the Vici side. Could have had this Sven instead of the Lifestealer and would be set, but never mind. The Night Stalker,
10
I was talking a bit
seconds
earlier in the
remaining.
draft that they really would like some vision probably for their, or was that the
5
draft for the
seconds
previous
remaining.
game? But anyway, the Magnus and the Disruptor definitely want some vision,
Reserve
and Night
time.
Stalker provides that in spades. And EHOME.Keen, well, they're just taking the same read on this game that Vici Gaming had on the previous one, which is, hey, that Storm Spirit hero is kind of greedy, and that Magnus hero is kind of greedy, and Disruptor and Night Stalker are actually a pretty greedy support duo as well, so they're just going to try and run them down. Dragon Knight to take towers, Troll Warlord to take towers. Dragon Knight with Troll ulti actually sounds gross. Dragon Knight doesn't really build attack speed that easily. You can buy, most people will buy Armlet, and then a lot of people buy Maelstrom because it's a good farming item, but a lot of the time you also end up seeing, Blink and Shadow Blade, and then after that, I guess you do go back for an AC a lot of the time, but sometimes you have to go BKB, and then all of a
10
sudden you've
seconds
got
remaining.
just Armlet for attack speed. So I'm picturing this Dragon Knight
5
hitting
seconds
very
remaining.
hard and hitting very fast. And I feel like I actually like EHOME.Keen's lineup quite a bit here in terms of what they can get done. They got tons of different ways that they can run the lanes. Like I said, that they leave the Troll Warlord bottom more or less by himself, and then try to put pressure on the Lifestealer early on, or they could just have the Dazzle zoning the Magnus and have the Monkey King roaming to try and kill off the Storm Spirit or even the Mag. So couple of different places for the Monkey King to go and play. Dazzle has some options available to him. I think the Dragon Knight is actually pretty solid against the Storm Spirit, at least as far as melee heroes go. You can buy a QB and a Stout right at the start of the game and actually have very, very solid damage on Dragon Knight. So this game could be interesting. I think if it's not all doom and gloom necessarily for Vici, I think if they hold on, then their lineup is probably a little bit better in the late game. The other really nice thing about the Dragon Knight here is that it gives them one more stun against the Storm Spirit. So it is actually going to be a little bit more difficult for Storm to play here, especially since the stuns are all kind of different types. We got 2 AoE stuns with the Monkey King. We'll got 2 AoE stuns with the Monkey King and the Axe. We've got a BKB piercing stun with the Berserker's Call. And then we've got a single target stun as well with the Dragon Tail. So almost no matter what you do on the Storm Spirit, there's going to be something that can lock you down this game. Of course, you're going to rely on your teammates to scout the Axe and just cancel his blink. It's going to be very important for Night Stalker to probably have an Urn. If he can get like Urn Ags, I think he'll be set this game. He can just make Axe's life really, really hard. It would be totally worth it for Night Stalker in every single fight to just run in, find the Axe, throw a void at him, and just hit him. And even if he gets called and dies, he's done his job. He said he's made room for the Storm Spirit to jump in and kill the Monkey King or the Dazzle, which is really his job. This game, they both have a really high impact in the team fight if they survive, but they're not particularly tanky heroes. So Storm finds him, and he's going to kill him. Anyway, looks like it's just going to be a bounty rune apiece. We did already have some early wards being placed down by Vici.
The battle begins.
Get some nice vision over the mid lane. Just to spot any rotations. Can't really put that much pressure on the DK, unfortunately, with the type of lineup that they have. But maybe once Disruptor gets some levels up, they'll be able to do it. Looks like Vici were anticipating some kind of aggressive lane and are actually going to be dodging the Lifestealer down to bottom, and instead Yang is going to be up in top, so they don't want to deal with this Axe Dazzle lane, but they might not end up with too much of a choice. Oh, big damage on the Monkey King, but alright, he will survive. Looks like just tanking some auto attacks and a Thunderstrike from the Disruptor was enough to knock him down well below half. And Warlord gonna head into the side shop to grab his 4-man shield, but he's getting pincered right now, getting body blocked up as well. Does manage to tango his way through. And Dazzle already TPing down here to the bottom lane, realizing that this aggressive tri-lane has been the call from Vici. So, gonna end up being an Axe 1v1 against the Magnus up top. This lane is fine for Mag, but I think the Axe is still gonna get a little bit more overall. Could probably stack up this big camp. It looks like he missed it for now, but stack it up and farm it a little bit later. Again, this mid lane is pretty boring. Not really a whole lot to talk about. Both heroes going to get farmed. They both have spam. It's actually surprisingly annoying for Storm Spirit getting hit by the Breathe Fire. And Dragonite can even just get 2 points in Dragon's Blood at level 3, and he's really not gonna be too worried. They've already rotated the Lifestealer back up the top since they got the TP down bottom for the Dazzle, so that's the advantage that you get by forcing the rotations first. You know, the TPing team has a little bit less control. Dragonite overstepping a little bit here. Looks like he might go down. He does have the Fairy Fire. Going to turn around for the Breathe Fire. But Chuan just walking in with the Thunderstrike. All the additional damage that they needed to find that kill. I don't know what happened. Did he like tank 2 remnants or something? The Storm did a lot of damage. Alright. Well, Dragonite down. That is not the start that EHOME.Keen are looking for here, but it's not going to hamper their ability too much to take towers early on. I think that's still going to be more or less guaranteed. Yang eats a couple of Jingu stacks down bottom and will be able to jump himself out, as we do have the Night Stalker running his way over towards mid right now. Looks like maybe just some more harassment for the Dragonite. It's actually come a pretty long way up. Going to take some more damage. Shouldn't be brought down, however. Just a single tango going to be enough to get him up. Only the one deny grabbed by Storm, unfortunately. Looks like he missed the other one uphill. Nice call. Dazzle also rotating across. Disruptor in big trouble, but can we actually get any spins? Looks like they don't even need too many. A couple of auto attacks are going to do it. Dazzle has another heal, but it's not for 5 seconds, and looks like he's just going to get auto attack down, so Vici at least turning it into a 1-for-1 trade. Monkey King now also making an appearance up here. They've got the call, and that should give them the Jingu stacks. Elf taking big damage, and he got the level up for the Boundless Strike, but looks like Lifestealer is going to be alright. Unfortunately for him, his supports do not have any salves, so he's going to actually be pretty low for a while here, and Monkey King keen to make something happen. Does not have the Tree Dance, and alright, let's see if this lifesteal is going to be enough to keep him up. Looks like it will. Last Thunderstrike proc, not enough to finish him. Survives with 30 HP. EHOME.Keen can even up the kill score a little bit. Mid lane, despite that death, Dragonite still neck and neck with the Storm Spirit in terms of overall farm. Storm actually body blocking that last hit. Dragonite not grabbing the range creep. How is the Magnus doing? He's also doing okay. With all these lane swaps, it's going to distribute the farm a little bit more evenly across the board, though. As I say that, Lifestealer only 10 CS to his name so far. Excellent. I guess he's one of the heroes that's moved the most thus far, TPing from bottom all the way over to top. DK is still working on his bottle. Gonna have it in a little bit. Still getting completely scouted out by this Dire Vision over the mid lane, and Monkey King finally grabbing up his level 3, so he can get the Tree Dance going. Night Stalker, nighttime, level 3, looking to rotate over towards mid lane. It looks like Chuan, only level 2, so does not have the glimpse, but look like still interested in trying to get a kill here. Pretty difficult kill. Dragonite just holding a skill point right now in case he sees an opportunity with the Dragon Tail. Doesn't really need the Dragon's Blood given that he's full HP, so he's chilling. He has actually decided to bypass the bottle for a little bit, instead opting for a raindrop and completing his wand. I'm a little bit surprised to see that he's going to complete the wand instead of going for bottle. I think it is, you know, really important for Dragonite. And Monkey King gets a 2nd point in Boundless Strike instead of getting Tree Dance in Primal Spring. I think that's a little bit of a misplay. I don't understand why you wouldn't want the mobility, especially when you don't have boots. Battle Hunger on the Night Stalker. I think he's going to be okay. Chuan, however, maybe not quite so lucky. Axe not really willing to commit, and the backup that he had is actually the Dazzle, who's split up from him all the way over on the other side here. Night Stalker, did he manage to spot the Dazzle? Looks like no. He does have a TP out, but he does not have a Grave. Storm Spirit actually dropping very, very low on mid. Getting Dragon-tailed into a Boundless Strike, it looks like, but able to survive. Troll Warlord starting to pick up a bit of a farm lead down bot. Lifestealer doing his best to catch up, but Dark still giving him what for. But the pace of the game right now is not that fast, and I think that's got to be good news for Vici with the lineup that they have. Storm Spirit not really getting boxed out too much. These early pushes will really be where the game is made or broken, I suppose. Maybe if there's a good RP, then the game gets delayed, the Aghanim Scepter comes online, and I think if the Ags comes up, then EHOME.Keen they're probably in big trouble. Unless it comes up after they've already taken all the tier 2s or something like that, but yeah, an even game is not a good game for EHOME.Keen at the moment. Two-man smoke down towards bottom. This is very unexpected. They don't have the RP just yet on the Magnus, but Troll Warlord still chasing pretty far up. They really want this kill. Gonna jump forward with the Storm. Does not actually have the Vortex, but they're not gonna need it. Needs one more touch to finish the kill, and alright, Storm will oblige. So, I mean, what a weird rotation. People do not do this kind of stuff on Storm Spirit so much anymore. But they put the Disruptor mid, so they aren't really missing out on any of this experience. They're going to get Chuan his level 6 nice and fast. And Ori's still going to grab a little bit of farm down here. Not only that, but he also got the last hit on the kill. So, nice little grab. Oh, Chuan. Nice kinetic field. Actually going to keep him alive on mid. These Monkey King ganks are just barely failing every time. And Dragon Knight wants to get some damage on this tier 1 tower, but he is a long way up. He's already had his raindrop popped, and Ori gonna jump in. Can he get the remnant damage? He will be able to. The shockwave misses. The Grave now also coming in. They've got the Dragon Tail off, but Amy still wants his kill. He just needs one hit to finish it. Not gonna get it. The RP now getting dropped. They do manage to get the Dragon Knight, and now they're looking over towards the Monkey King as well. He's got one last void, and Amy will actually grab the double. And Vici have a shrine waiting for them over on the high ground. Oh my god.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Disaster for EHOME. At least Troll Warlord is pushing bottom, but doesn't even get that much damage before Chuan turns up. Gonna be very happy to take the experience off of these couple of range creeps, and the gank train continues. EHOME.Keen, they've got some vision, but they're just not playing. They're not really playing around it. Dark, alright, does manage to get the TP out there. So finally a little bit of wasted time for Vici. I don't know, these Storm Spirit rotations should not be as successful as they are, but at least they managed to dodge one of them now. That first DK ultimate did not get nearly as much damage on the mid lane as he probably would have hoped. Tier 1 tower is still relatively healthy. There is a double damage waiting down bot. Magnus just going to be farming his Blink Dagger at the moment. We're back to pretty much dead even on the net worth. As Night Stalker, hell, he just got that double kill. He's got 1,600 gold. He's just going to go for a Midas. Why not? Having a hell of a game so far. 2-1-2. Great kill participation. Glimpse bottom. Chuan does get bashed at the last moment, but Troll Warlord glimpsed a little bit too far back. Another big 4-man rotation. DD gets popped. Storm just going to look to slow him down. Try and get the Lifestealer in range for the open wounds. Kinetic Field also trying for the vision. Troll Warlord, however, pretty speedy with the phase boots, and will be able to get out of there. If Chuan had let himself die, I think they get that kill. If he hadn't glimpsed him all the way back. Who knows? It's, I guess, a tough call. Alright, second Dragon Knight ultimate. This time around, he will not be denied. Mid-tier 1 tower going to take some big damage. Battle Trance also getting popped, but Night Stalker is pretty tanky. And does manage to pull the Creep Wave aggro off. Storm Spirit, not a ton of mana, but he does have the double damage. And in fact, it's actually going to be the top tier 1 that EHOME.Keen managed to take out. Dark lining up for the last hit. Does grab it, and that's going to get him within 100 gold. of picking up his Blink Dagger. This is where the pace of the game should really start picking up for EHOME.K. These first few smoke ganks, first few pickoffs, first few tower pushes, these opportunistic wards are going to be very, very important. A little bit suspicious to see the Monkey King in this area, so Chuan might try for a D ward here, but he's got bigger fish to fry. He wants to go for the glimpse here on the mid lane, and they are going to be able to get it back onto the Dragon Knight, straight into the pull. A little bit of help attempted by the Troll Warlord, but the Static Storm gets laid down, and he's not going to be able to run through that. The Grave keeping him alive for a little bit longer. The RP not going to go off because of the Blink call. That's trouble for Magnus. The Boundless Strike catches onto 3, and now the Magnus's RP's been interrupted. Axe dropping very low. Looks like they should be able to muscle through him, but Vici are also so close to dead. That uphill hit will not miss. Storm Spirit has a little bit of mana left in the tank, but looks like the Monkey King not going to let him go. Still fishing for that kill. It's a 2 for 2 so far. And 2 for 3 will be the final score, as Vici end up losing all 3 cores. And Monkey King was hunting for Chuan, but he's just running straight back into the base. Oh man, that Axe Blink reveal could not have been better. Like, I think they were about to get like a 2-man RP, and probably would have turned the fight at that point. Lifestealer, I don't know if Infest was still on cooldown, but might have been able to get it off. But instead, they lose all 3 cores. They lose the tier 1 tower. And Chuan, where did he put that sentry ward down? Actually used it in this mid fight. So it looks like this observer over here is going to stay up for a little bit longer, and that's going to give them another in to the dire jungle to find some more pickoffs with the Axe. Speaking of Axe, he wants the Storm Spirit. He's going to get the call off. They're going to throw out the Wukong's command. They got the Boundless Strike as well. Can they get the dunk? Just barely survives with the wand charges and will be able to zip himself away. Man, I wonder if the Wukong's command even did that much damage there. The Storm was like all the way over at the opposite end, so it took forever for the monkeys to actually propagate out and start hitting.
Invisibility.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not even sure that that's how Wukong's ultimate works, but it's the way that the visual seems to set up. I don't know if he has to, if the whole ultimate has to be down before they start attacking or what. I will do some research after this game. Anyway, unfortunate kill to miss, but they do have the Dragon Knight ultimate popped down bot. Looks like they should be able to get this tier 1, and if they keep enough heroes down here, maybe even go for the tier 2. There's still quite a bit of the duration left, but it looks like instead they are EHOME.Keen to go and defend some of their other lanes. Vlad's already picked up for the Troll Warlord, so some more 5-man potential there. Definitely opens up the way for Roshan as well. As we've seen, Troll Warlord can pretty easily solo Rosh with just the Vlads. And the Yasha has gone for the 10 agi over the 7 strength. I think this has been by far the most common selection that I've seen. Gives him a nice little bit of extra damage with the Vlads as well. Troll Warlord running in very aggressively here. He's tanky, but not that tanky. He does manage to get the Whirling Axes off. Monkey King jumping up onto the high ground, but the RP gets dropped onto 3. Looks like they did manage to get the call off, but the Axe actually getting glimpsed away, it looks like. And now the Dragon Knight just finds himself in the middle of a world of hurt. Does get Grave, but I think that's only going to save him for a few seconds longer. Everything's on cooldown. The Infest jump out will not actually kill him. So Dazzle does actually manage to save the day, and it looks like Axe now looking to chase even further. Does not manage to get the dunk, so no bonus move speed. And will not be able to chase for any additional kills. But
stupendous.
Still, these fights not really going the way that they should for EHOME. They're just not set up. I don't know, I think they could have given them the tier 1 without too much fuss. But feeling like they have to take every fight that gets offered to them. Big zip in mid. Monkey King in trouble. Can he get a good Boundless Strike off? Looks for the Storm. Ori actually dodges it, but now he's a little bit low on mana. Did manage to wand up, but still will be brought down. Too many EHOME.Keen heroes in the area. Can we get a bash? Amy, nope. Looks like he'll be alright. But, okay. EHOME.Keen even going to drag some creeps over into the Roshan pit. Lifestealer is actually going for a Midas of his own here, so between his Midas and the Nightstalker Midas, they're definitely looking to play a slightly longer game, and EHOME.Keen have picked it up in the 6th gear. Let's see how many buildings this Aegis can get them. That's going to be the really big question. We saw Troll get bursted right at the start of the previous fight. He's going to get a BKB or his S&Y before too long. Given that he has the Aegis, he probably goes and finishes the S&Y before going for the BKB. Not as sizable a lead as you might expect for being up by 2 towers, though they are down by 3 kills. All right, they're gonna buy 2 more smokes. Just have to play the lanes correctly here and make sure that they keep this really nice vision up. I do have to really commend EHOME.Keen for their warding as well. Monkey King's been setting them up very nicely. I kind of wish Lifestealer had gone for the armlet back and then gone back for the Midas, but I guess he's got his Midas now, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. He's got pretty high farm speed with the Empower as well. Magnus finally picking up his Blink Dagger.
Bounty.
But Axe already has his Blade Mail completed, which is going to be a little bit scary. Storm Spirit not at all on track for his Bloodstone right now. Like I said in the previous game, I think pretty standard timing is like 16-17 minutes, so long as you don't die too much. But he's been farming less. He went for the more aggressive build with the Power Treads instead of getting Arcane Boots and then disassembling them. So still a ways off. Does have the recipe already, but what? Still 2,300 to farm. Gonna take a little bit. Jungle's gonna respawn in 15 seconds, so it's a bit more of an opportunity, but EHOME.K already breathing down their necks. They're gonna jump in, they find the mag, however Monkey King might just get skewered back inside of the base. Yeah, but they do still get the blink call. They're looking to drag him out. The Wukong's command is there, and Dragon Knight actually diving in pretty deep. They get the mag kill. He's down for 35 seconds. They will use a glyph to hold on to this tier 2 a little bit longer, but are they gonna come back to defend the high ground? That is the question. Storm Spirit wants to get this tier 1 tower up top instead, but EHOME.Keen, they're going to keep on moving forward. Night Stalker, that's a pretty dangerous position to be TPing into. Does manage to shift Q his way out of there. Magnus coming in. Unfortunately, it is daytime at the moment, so Night Stalker not really at full strength, and the tier 3 dropping quickly. Monkey King over on the tree line, going to be looking for this Magnus kill. They've got the first stun, they've got the call. They've also got the Dragon Tail on him. He's not going to get dunked. Nice little bit of counter initiation there, as they also jump into the Dazzle on the backlines, but he manages to get off the Grave and the Weave. Troll Whirler dropping low, but he still has the Aegis, and the rest of the heroes on the lineup still pretty healthy. Unfortunately, Storm Spirit does not manage to get in range of the Shrine and will be brought down, and with 2 cores dead, what can EHOME.Keen really do? They get the immediate buyback with the long zip in, looking for the kill on the Dragon Knight. They will get it, but Storm Spirit immediately getting taunted up. The Boundless Strike also manages to catch out of the Lifestealer, and he'll get chopped down. Monkey King picking up some big kills here, and Axe is not done. He jumps in. They look towards the Disruptor. He'll be finished off. He's got a buyback, but that buyback would not be enough to save this lane of Rax. Magnus finally going to be TPing in once again. Finishes off the Troll. Shift Qs across. Keeps the Monkey King locked down. He's now silenced. And looks like might finally die. Oh my god, they're going to invest the RP just to kill the Monkey King.
This battle isn't over.
Almost finishing off the Night Stalker there. And that's the lane of Rax gone. And like 2 buybacks used on 2 cores. 3 buybacks used. Buyback also used by the Night Stalker. Oh man. And just when you thought this patch was becoming a patch where games were going longer, people are buying more Midases, high grounding is more difficult, turns out you still have to respect the push strats. You still have to, if you're going to be playing that kind of a lineup, you still need to have some heroes who can fight. And I feel like this Lifestealer Midas has really come back to bite them. At least he's got his armlet already, so maybe it wasn't a huge deal, but, you know, maybe if he'd had the armlet for the mid-fight, I don't know if he would have had enough money at that stage necessarily, but like the fact that they just haven't been able to take a single fight this whole game, it feels like, and this EHOME.Keen lineup just takes buildings so quickly. Like at this point, what, they back up, they reset, they farm their BKB on the Dragon Knight, they get their BKB on the Troll Warlord, Axe even going to go for a BKB. They're just going to buy triple BKB, and then whether or not they need to use those BKBs to win a Roche fight is I guess is the big question, but yeah, we'll see. Storm Spirit. I mean, yeah, they can take the shrines now as well. That's definitely on the agenda to help speed up those BKBs. They desperately need the Ags and the Bloodstone. But I mean, Storm Spirit buying back and then dying. He is now almost even further. No, he's still about 2k gold away from the Bloodstone, and that was how close he was before taking this tier 1 tower up top.
Whoa, what'd I miss? A gift from the Tempest.
Really getting set back a lot there. Yeah, Roshan's still a ways away from potentially respawning. Troll did finish his SNY. Has a little ancient stack to go for here. They do still have some nice vision over on this bottom side of the map, but looks like that other ward just fading. And they are going to go for another pickoff. Who can they find? If they can continue to shut down the Storm Spirit, that would be big. Even the Night Stalker kill is not that bad, and looks like that's what they're going to settle for. They're even going to pop the Dragon Knight ultimate for this one. And that should make it easy for them to segue into this tier 2 tower. There is vision on the map for Vici, but it's just getting sidestepped at every turn by EHOME.K. I think they're pretty much out of smokes now. Well, they got one left, but tower gonna drop. They got a Solar Crest on their Dazzle, so this Dragon Knight has a Gorillion armor. Actually, how much is a Gorillion? He's not even the one getting Solar Crested right now. Now he is. Alright, 45 armor. No big. Tier 3 dead. They're not even going to stop for the shrines. Are they just going to keep on going? Alright. Pressure on Yang to make something happen, but there is a little bit of a pincer maneuver coming in. They've loaded up the Infest Bomb with the Storm Spirit, but EHOME.K, I think seeing that their Dragon Knight ultimate is about to wear out, are just going to go back to farming stations for a bit. And probably not going to be punished for this either. Though we'll see. The smoke is still running for a little bit longer. Magnus working his way towards a 4-staff right now. Not running past any Radiant Vision, it looks like. Maybe they got clipped on this dire scan up onto the high ground just to make them feel a little bit more secure making this movement. But EHOME.Keen, I like the way that they're playing this. They backed up, but they backed up as a group. Monkey King's gone for a Glimmer Cape, interestingly enough. I think mostly just to save the Dazzle. So often with other support duos, oh, Monkey King completely reveals the smoke and just skirts right past the sentry ward. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. And they didn't have any more detection. Disruptor also bought a Midas. What on earth? Why do they have 3 Midases? I mean, I guess if they can hold, then it'll pay off. But here's the thing. If they could hold, like, it would be easier to hold